Hello, you. I've got some hot news about some people that leaked some stuff about Portal already being in the new Battlefield. So let's talk about it. Okay, so here's the top and bottom of it. Some naughty sausages on the Battlefield subreddit dumped loads of images and screenshots of things apparently data mined from the Battlefield Labs game files. Battlefield Labs, if that doesn't ring a bell, is an NDA'd testing environment where people that sign up are selected to play vertical slices of parts of the new Battlefield game and then give feedback on its development. I'm not going to show images or discuss line by line what was in the leaks. My focus here is that the rumours that Portal is returning to the new Battlefield game seem to have a little more weight than they did last week, and I'm briefly going to touch on a few of the little tidbits that have been revealed from these leaks. They could mean that Portal is not only returning, but it's going to be Portal's next evolution. Dare I say its final form. If you are still watching and you're liking what you hear, sit tight, do me a favour, slap the like and subscribe buttons, and once you finish watching the video, drop me a comment and let me know what you want out of Portal being in the next Battlefield game. So firstly, let's reminisce. Let's think about Portal and how it really was a prodigal son who should have been put on a shining plinth and worshipped like a digital demigod. Maybe that's a step too far, but Portal was easily my favourite part of Battlefield 2042. With every new game, the Battlefield franchise suffers deeper and deeper from an issue that's been around for years now. Each new game has its own different spin or flavour on the Battlefield formula, and that creates a splintered community. Little pockets of gamers who prefer certain aspects of the various iterations of Battlefield, but they aren't fully unified in what they like and what they don't. I immediately felt that Portal was the answer to that problem. A sandbox within a sandbox that lets players decide the era, the game mode, the tickets, the amount of vehicles, the damage the guns do, customizable game logic, and so much more. When BF 2042 came out, I got stuck right into Portal and we made some really fun and robust modes. We made the Squid Game red light green light mode 4 years before Call of Duty did. We also made a comprehensive gun game mode, a zombies mode, and others went as far as coding in Counter-Strike style buy menus for guns. For all its successes, unfortunately Portal hit a lot of roadblocks. Primarily, some kind of heretical brain demon at DICE decided to make the Portal servers give 0 XP to players at launch. It kind of goes without saying that this immediately killed any interest the player base had for Portal. Many Battlefield players want to grind and unlock new weapons and gadgets, especially when a game has just launched. So any budding creatives wanting to get stuck into making Portal modes were somewhat put off by the fact that no one would really want to go and play your mode. This was eventually fixed, but it was too little too late. BF 2042 launched with a host of issues, and I think the team had such a task of actually getting the base game into a state where the players were somewhat happy with it. Development and updates to Portal all but ceased, outside of 1 or 2 minor patches. But enough dwelling over spilt milk. Let's look forward to the next Battlefield with a sprinkling of new information and talk about what I hope we're going to get from Portal in the new game. Based on what I briefly skim-read in the leaks, there seems to not only be a ton more gadgets and weapons, but some big nods to potentially new Portal features. There are references to things like custom UI. Now, we did have a couple of text elements that we could appear on screen within Portal, but maybe we're going to be able to use SVG or something akin to old BF emblems to build out entirely unique UI designs for our modes. I'm deeply speculating here, obviously, but that's kind of all we can do until we get an official, proper game reveal announcement from DICE. The images from the leaks also have lines mentioning area triggers, interact points, and capture points. Now this excites me a lot, as my biggest pain point with Portal in 2042 was the lack of being able to redefine capture zones. Having areas on the map that can fire a logic trigger when a player, vehicle, or maybe even a bullet hits it could transform the possibilities of modes within Portal. Another really interesting mention here are several variables ending with the word extracted. Teleporting vehicles, on round ending, on round started, on time limit reached. All of these ending with an underscore and then the word extracted. This could suggest the ability in Portal for players to create extraction opportunities within their modes. Now, pinch of salt, these are leaks and they're just words on a screenshot. none of which necessarily mean anything. I'm going to purposefully choose to believe the best possible outcome of what this could all mean. The 15-year-old me playing Battlefield 2 wants to feel alive again. Just one last time, DICE, let me dream! Finally, the last little thing from the leaks that I want to talk about is hints of prefabs that we can place. Things like aspen trees, cardboard boxes, civilian cars, closed containers, concrete stairs, curves, rails, pillars. All of these are mentioned in the leaks. Imagine if we can actually get the ability to place and move assets within the maps and, create our own variants of the maps. Even if it's just using prefabs, players would be able to totally transform the game modes into something incredibly unique and special. Now, if I disregard everything I've seen in these leaks, except for the one point that Portal may well be returning for the next Battlefield game, the main things that I truly hope get brought in are this. The ability to place, edit and move flags and capture zones. This will give us the power to take standard conquest maps and plot our own routes for rush or rebalance a capture point. Just for slightly tweaked, true to the Battlefield experience style Portal modes, this could be huge. You could run rush maps in reverse. You could completely change how the flow of a conquest map plays by changing where the capture zones are. I think that would just be such a powerful tool to have in the Portal toolbox. Next, I hope we get items. Something that players can interact with, pick up and move, and objects that let us tie game logic into them. This could give us options for bomb defuse, capture the flag, recreating Hardline's Blood Money mode, or even finishing what DICE started with Hazard Zone. With every little new piece of creative freedom we get, every little new element within the Portal toolbox, it's going to increase creativity exponentially. Finally, I hope DICE have really given thought to discoverability. How do new modes that are actually worthwhile playing get seen and recognised by the player base? DICE need to help players who are building these modes keep Portal alive by sending players to give these new experiences a try. Eventually, we could see Portal become something akin to an engaging and varied game mode platform, similar to what Fortnite has done. Imagine loading up Battlefield and spending an hour playing a 5-on-5 bomb defuse mode, and then another hour playing a traditional Battlefield, 64-player conquest, and then, just for the last half an hour, you play some insane mode where everybody gets helicopters and you fire tanks at each other. I feel quite strongly that Portal was a missed opportunity, that wasn't really given its moment in the sun, and I think Portal has the chance, if given the right support, to keep the next Battlefield alive long past its release and make the wait between future Battlefield titles feel a lot shorter. Now, before I finish this video, I think it's important to say that data mining isn't concrete evidence of anything other than that some references to various things exist in the Battlefield Labs code. This could all be stuff that has been prototyped and long discarded from what we're going to receive when the new Battlefield game drops. However, with that said, if Portal really is returning to the new Battlefield, then let's hope that the toy box is fully stuffed with new additions that expand on what Portal can allow us to do. And hopefully that DICE have learnt from their mistakes and won't smother the mode by removing or limiting XP earned on launch. And that last point really is something I can't stress enough. That is all from me today, guys. There's tons of other stuff that's been revealed due to leaks or data mining recently I could go into. Map locations and Battle Royale, to mention a couple, but I usually don't like to comment on this stuff, as I think it can steal the thunder from that special launch moment when a studio reveals what they've been pouring 4 to 5 years of their lives into creating. Game devs are humans, they're people. They're artists and creatives who I think do deserve to bask in that moment. So anyone from DICE, if you are watching, please do excuse my slight hypocrisy. I just loved Portal in 2042 so much I couldn't contain myself with this leak. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you'd like to see if Portal really is coming back to the new Battlefield in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Much love. Bye bye.